And welcome back, folks, to another episode of the Planet Mullins podcast. We're in season 7, and I've got a lot of great guests today. Classical Virtuoso has just released her 12th album. She's amazing, and I know her through the Grammys. I love the new album. Please say hello to Sophia Agranovich. Did I say that right?
Yes, and you said it with correct accent.
Well, I know a lot about the Ukrainian accent because I've had a lot of Ukrainian and Russian friends over the years, so I know a little bit. But congratulations on your new album. It's a collection of Robert Schumann pieces. It's your 12th album, and why don't you tell everybody about your project?
Uh, First of all, I want to thank you very much for inviting me to your
Of
show.
course, sure.
It's an honor, and I really looking forward talking to you. Yes, this album happened, how to say it, it was kind of spontaneous. Actually, all my albums were part of my performing routine.
Okay.
So, because I play all of the pieces that I recorded, I performed multiple times in different concerts because I have huge repertoire, and then I just combine them into albums logically, whatever happened. So I was playing Schumann over the years a lot. I already have a recording of Schumann, which was Carnival, a huge piece, which actually I will play in my tours this summer, and Fantasy, which received tremendous reviews. Actually, I got 2 Global Music Awards gold medals for that and all kinds of praise, and it was played on radio, on best classical stations. And I'm getting into Chopin, Schumann, Liszt, Beethoven, you name it, whenever I feel like it. Mendelssohn, I don't plan on it. So in the past 2 years, I was playing a lot of Schumann. I said, oh, you know what? I didn't record these pieces. Maybe I should start recording them. So I happened to learn Schumann Sonata, which I didn't play before last year. I performed it extensively at my European tour in München, Vienna, and Rome. And of course, I played a lot of concerts locally here. I mean in the US.
Okay.
And I decided to record it. So I recorded it, and then I had other pieces which I remember from my previous years that I actually played when I was a teenager in Juilliard. It came back to me very fast.
Wow.
As you get older, you can remember. It's hard, so I work on my memory a lot. So, okay, let me remember what I did when I was younger, and it came back very fast because it's actually easier to remember when you learned it with. Actually, I learned it with my good professor Sasha Gorodnitsky. We can talk about him a little bit later if you want.
Okay.
So I produced this recording, which was released pretty recently on the 3rd of this month, and it already got like 7 rave reviews, which I was surprised because I'm always very critical of my playing, and apparently everybody loved it. It sounds pretty good. I was also surprised that it sounded so well because while I was playing, I didn't feel that I did the best I can. But, being a perfectionist, it's kind of hard. You have to go with the flow once in a while. So that's what I'm doing now.
Well, that's so great because the work ethic that goes into being a classical artist and especially a pianist. I have these discussions with various instrumentalists. I think the violin and the piano are the 2 hardest classical instruments. And since I'm a pianist and I realize what goes into learning something like this huge collection. I mean, your albums have 12 songs, 20 songs, 25 songs, and everything is 4 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes,
or sometimes half an hour. This sonata, half an hour. Schumann Carnival, half an hour.
When I saw you playing the list, I was actually at lunch with a friend of mine, and we were talking. He said, "What are you going to be doing next week?" I said, interviewing this wonderful classical pianist. So I pulled up the list on my phone, and we were waiting for our food to come, and we were watching you. And his first thing is, how the heck does she remember all that stuff? Because Liszt is so dense. There's so much to it. It's like, you know, it's the difference between, say, somebody like a Chet Baker playing in jazz and a Dizzy Gillespie playing a million notes. And Liszt has so many notes, and you're just cooking along, flowing with everything. Now, how long does it take you to memorize something like that?
Yeah, as I was reminiscing on this before, the music that I play, especially Liszt, Chopin, and some late Beethoven sonatas, you must know it by memory. It's very hard to look in the music and do all the notes, especially if it's extremely fast with a lot of jumps.
Right.
Plus, you can't give it free ride with your emotions and sort of just go as if you're composing it at the moment, as if it's you. You just look at the music, no matter what anybody says, because now it's a style. I see a lot of musicians, even very even Yu Wang and some others, they play with music, with orchestra, which is okay because orchestral score is slightly different.
It's different.
But for me, ensemble, it's okay to play because you have to see what other
Everybody,
musicians do.
yeah, right.
But when you're a solo performer and you just want to go with the flow and just go with your subconscious and just give it everything you have, it's impossible. I mean, I personally cannot look in the music, so I have to learn it.
Uh-huh.
And it just, I have photographic memory and I have motor memory, and but there are different kinds of memories because that's how I teach my students. Mm-hmm. Mechanical memory is very important. For example, I know like some Rachmaninoff concerto, like third, but if I didn't play it for a couple of years, it gets out of your fingers. Mm-hmm. So no matter how much you know the piece, you have to know when to press the keys. Your body, it's almost you're like a dancer or athlete.
Okay.
Especially when you have a lot of chords and jumps, you have to be very strong and flexible at the same time. And each finger, everything has to be extremely sensitive to all kinds of nuances that might come spontaneously while you're playing, no matter how much you practice. So it's very hard. You have to be in a very good physical shape to play a virtuoso piano.
Yeah.
Then there is also logical memorization, which is, for me, it's like 85%, 90%. That's how I was taught by my great teachers who came from, I mean, I have musical, I'm transcending from actually Liszt and Beethoven, you know, because all my teachers were chaining from Beethoven students.
Yeah, that's so great.
Yeah, you can read it in my bio. It's too long to explain. And I actually probably a representative on this golden age of piano playing, being Sasha Gorodnitsky was student of Joseph Levine, and Joseph Levine is going back to Beethoven, and Nadia Reisenberg goes back to Liszt in her hereditary musicianship.
Right.
Nadia Reisenberg was my other great professor. It's too much to talk, you know, you can read about them online.
It reminds me of the Old Testament of the Bible because, you know, my mom had me reading the Bible when I was really young. It was like, so-and-so begat so-and-so, and so-and-so begat so-and-so, and so begat. I remember I was reading like, and you know, I was probably about 8 years old, and there are about 300 begats, and I said, I'm never going to remember all this. And she says, well, just, you know, come to a conclusion. And I said, I think these people are having a lot of sex if they're going to be so many begats. Yeah. Everybody's having sex like crazy. She said, no, that's not the point of the Bible.
That's right, I understand. It's something like this. I don't think it's 300. I think it's only 3 or 4.
It's a lot,
which is still, we have this school, and they teach a lot of logic. They teach a lot of theory. You have to
Okay.
know all the scales and all the formats in thirds and sixths and octaves, all the arpeggios. I don't think they teach like modern teachers. They don't teach like this, except some on a high level, because they want to retain students. They want to make it more entertainment, which is
Oh,
fine.
well.
But you have to have the basics.
Well, for
So
someone like you, the basics is going to be a lot, because just on the repertory that you're doing, you have to understand everything about when is it a harmonic minor, and when is it melodic minor ascending, and when is it melodic minor descending, and what is an ostinato, and
right,
how do you play, octaves? I mean,
exactly.
your octave playing is insane.
And also you have to know the styles and
Right.
the trends of the century and the literature and history, because and art, because it all reflected in the music. So the more you know, the better you would feel the composers, and the better you will interpret, because you will transport into the time and then you make it your own.
Right.
Otherwise it would sound artificial.
Right.
So my teachers always told me everything has to be logical, believe it or not.
Uh-huh.
First it's logic. So how you memorize, I basically memorize, all music is chords and arpeggios and intervals, right? I
Yep.
almost see it mathematically or geometrically.
Uh-huh.
And I used to love math. I was very good in math, and I was a programmer, and many of you know by now. And
Well, it really takes
so
that ability to memorize everything, and then people have told me that were amazed at my abilities with certain parts of music. They said it's called having the gift of pattern recognition.
exactly,
And if you
exactly.
have that, and you have that, obviously, I have it too. So I'm kind of seeing an entire outline of things and watching the movement when it's going up and when it's going down, when it's going in contrary motion. But I
And the
never,
chords.
right, but I never had the patience to sit and practice classical music like you have. So were you very young when you first started, or did you pick it up later, or what?
Um, well, I started not very young, because right now it's a style to start teaching kids 3, 4 years old.
Uh,
A lot. I have a like 3-year-old genius, couple of genius students. One of them was unbelievable. But in my town, they started 5, 6, 7, 8. Um, I started early. I started at 5, and then I got really bored because my teacher for me was going too slow, and I said, I'm not practicing. I was bored.
uh,
Then my mother said, okay, you're not, if you don't want to practice, nobody pushed me. They were not ambitious. They wanted, in that respect, they wanted me to do what I want in life.
right.
And then I started practicing on my own because I was curious. So I learned like the whole beginning book, which was thick like this, on my own. And so my mother said, okay, you know what, if you practice on your own, better get you a better teacher, so would be more
Oh,
strict with you. So they got me a very good teacher, and I got into music school, which was very selective, because you have to pass exams. It's not like in America, normally, you just go, you pay money, you go, you take private. It was very selective. It was very,
right.
very good school with great teachers who
Uh-huh.
came from big conservatories. And I started playing on a high level. Actually, my tendency to be bored worked good for me, because I was practicing very little, but it was very intense. And the harder repertoire they gave me, the more interesting it was.
Right.
So so this worked very well, and I progressed extremely fast. Like when I was sick, I started playing in concerts. Of course, everything by memory. I started playing harder pieces, and one teacher from higher school, from musical college, she heard about me. She took me into her class. She she didn't take kids from the school, because it was a music school. It was not like a conservatory.
Okay.
And she was very, very, Anna Israelna Stolarevich, her name is Stolarevich. She was a friend of Horowitz, and they studied with the same teacher
Wow.
in Kiev Conservatory in the class of Felix Blumenfeld.
Wow.
And she ended up in my town, which was a very beautiful Ukrainian town, which was Western influence. I can talk for hours about it. Liszt and Chopin performed there. A lot of musicians. It was more European than Ukrainian, because it was on the border. It used to be Romania and Austro-Hungary.
Wow.
So that was a beautiful town, but she was regretting it that she was there, my teacher, because she aimed for concert career, like Horowitz, her friend, but she had problem with her hands because she over-practiced. When I heard it, I said, you know what, I probably will never over-practice. First of all, I'm getting bored too fast.
Yeah.
I don't want to do what happened to her.
Right.
That's besides the point. She was great. She gave me the whole foundation. We went together to the great professor Alexander Edelman in Lviv, who gave me master classes, and he said that I'm destined to, was her friend, they studied also in the same class, and also they both studied with Heinrich Neuhaus. They had master classes in Moscow. So Mr. Edelman said that I'm destined to be a great musician. I just didn't take it very seriously. I thought he just wants to make me feel good because I had such a long trip. So I played for him, and he said that I have to go to Moscow Conservatory for prep school, and my parents said, we will never let you go, because I was very domesticated, they protected me like crazy, very conservative family, the girl alone doesn't go anywhere. So I never went, but I kept studying with my professor Anna Stolerievich, and we kept going to Lviv for master classes with Professor Edelman. Actually, his son, I just found out, his son became very famous pianist.
Wow.
And he's here, but he used to be in NYU, now he's in Europe. I'm so sorry, I just found out recently. Because I remember he was a couple of years younger, and when I was playing, he was poking the keys, and I said, oh my God, this boy is so musical. So that's...
Well, I think
anyway,
no,
so that's my story. And then I won competition. She sent me to the Ukrainian Young Artist competition, and I was too young. I played very well. It was in Lviv, and then it was in Kiev. It was very demanding. It was like a couple of tours, and I got first place. I couldn't believe it. So it became. It used to have a different name. Now I looked on Wikipedia, say, oh my God, it became like a very famous competition. They don't do it now because of the war.
Right.
They stopped for now. And so my, so to say, career picked up over there. I started, like local famous person, and everything I didn't take it too seriously. I thought it just was an accident. So I was playing on TV, on radio, a lot of concerts. I played Chopin concerto. I played, by age of 14, I played all Chopin etudes. And started learning them on my own just to warm up, because I was too bored with scales.
Well.
So they said, okay, if you don't want to go to Moscow, you have to do something. Right. And at the time when I was 15, we decided to emigrate to the United States for personal reasons. As my grandmother had 12 brothers and sisters who went there before Russian Revolution. She wanted, it wasn't for any political reason or anything, it was for family. And my teacher said, you know what, you should go to Juilliard if you go there. And I said, thank you very much. I didn't want to upset her, so I said, okay, I'll try. But I said, no way, I'm not going to Juilliard. Who would, it's impossible, because I didn't practice that seriously. I liked a lot of other stuff, like science, literature. I was very good in school in science and math, and I loved ballet. I wanted always to be a ballet dancer. I was very good in sports. And medicine, I love medicine. My father was into that. So I said, okay, we'll go. So when we came to America, the life was very hard for immigrants. My mother knew English. She was an English teacher, but my father didn't know a word of English, and he was a dentist, dentist and a surgeon, very respectable. And he started learning English from scratch. I said, I will become a dentist at his age. It was amazing.
Wow.
So I started, I went to school, and I wanted to play piano so badly. So they will borrow the piano. We rented the piano for me. My father, and we moved to New York because there were a lot of Russian, Ukrainian immigrants from all over in Brooklyn.
Right.
So one day my father comes home and he brings me catalog from Juilliard School. Said, Sophia, this is the exam you want to apply. Said, no way. I said, yeah, but you're playing these pieces that, for the program. I said,
right.
Okay, I'll try. I didn't want to upset him. So, and I started practicing, and literally, we came in April. The exams were like very, very soon. In 1 month, without teacher, without anything, I learned the pieces. I got help from local agency with money just to pay for the auditions and stuff. And I got in after the audition. And Sasha Gorodnitsky, who was head of the piano department, took me. He was in college. I went to pre-college. He took me in his class.
Wow.
I thought, this is really an accident.
That's great.
I mean, because this is kind of impossible. I didn't, it's not that I wasn't serious about music. I didn't plan to have a career in music, and I didn't dedicate like all my time to it because I was struggling. I went to the 12th grade right away into school. I had to do everything in English. It was hard. Mm-hmm. So I said, you know what? I got into pre-college. I'll continue. I got a full scholarship. I said, it's a good deal. And again, I didn't want to upset my parents. So I started going to Juilliard, and since with Sasha, he was so amazing. He was like a very wise person, completely different style of teaching. My teacher in Russia was very strict, very demanding. If I wouldn't have sense of humor, I would cry at every lesson, like did a lot of students. That's a method in Europe. In Europe, at that time, and in Russia, you have to be strict. You heard it about the sports and everything.
Right.
And in, like, for example, even in sports like Nadia Comaneci. But that was good. It means they cared about you.
Mm-hmm.
But in America, everything is different. You have to be delicate. You have to respect the students. Somebody might sue you if you do something wrong. Right? I didn't. So why he doesn't scream at me? I play so terrible. But he was so good. He was always. So he always showed he was a performing teacher. He could play any piece, like, by memory, flawlessly, with such interpretation. He could produce recordings on a lesson. He was amazing. Mm-hmm. I learned so much from him. So I was thinking, like, second year when I graduated high school, I decided to continue with Juilliard because it was too precious to drop out.
Right.
I wanted to be a doctor, actually, and my father said it's more practical and everything, and he was right. But I said, you know what, I can't drop out. I like it too much. Mm-hmm. So I continued with Juilliard, and it was. Sometimes you feel very isolated because being a pianist, it's not like your violin. You always have to play with someone. Piano is you're on your own unless you play in a
it can get very lonely,
And then I started, teenager, existential questions, what the purpose of life, what I'm doing here, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Especially coming from my very, very conservative family, I just didn't feel I belong with some kids. There were some very free-minded hippies, very nice people, but I just feel that everybody looks for their path in life. So on the third year in Juilliard, I said, you know what? Maybe I should pursue something else. I want some other profession, more scientific, more. I want to learn about life. Because as you know, practicing piano on such a level or any music, instrument or voice, it requires all your time.
Right.
So I said, I don't know anything about life. I don't have time to read as much as I want. I don't have time to go to museums. I don't have time to spend with friends as much. I want to learn. And I didn't plan to be a musician anyway because I never thought I'm good. I'm very, very self-critical, which sometimes works to my disadvantage.
Okay.
Sometimes it's good because then I produce good stuff or play well. But sometimes you just have to go with the flow. So I said, okay, let me get some scientific course. And then a course in programming took my attention in the newspaper that advertised programming. I said, what is programming? So I started looking, researching it, and I said, wow, this is amazing. I want to do this. So I went to Juilliard, to the office of student relations. I said, I want to drop out. And the woman looked at me, she said, you cannot do it because, and she knew what I was going through. I didn't have to say because everything is always written on my face. I have very hard time hiding feelings or lying or anything. So she looked at me, she felt what I felt. And she said, 1 more year, you will get your bachelor. I said, Sophia, 1 more year, please. I said, yeah, it makes sense. So I stayed for bachelor's, and then I went to the office and said, okay, I got my bachelor's. She said, Sophia, you can get your master's in 1 year. Why don't you get your master's?
Wow.
Oh, that
1
makes
year.
sense.
1 year, that's amazing.
Yeah, so that makes sense. I got my master's, and then I said, you know what, I think I should continue. I really love it. Maybe I should go into teaching. I had some couple of private students, and I took some pedagogy courses, and I was very good with students. I got a fellowship teaching piano at Juilliard, and almost all my students were older than me, and there were majors, different majors, like violins.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed teaching. I said, maybe I should just be a music teacher. So it gives me steady profession if I have kids and family, because I always wanted to have good family, because for me personal relationships are much more important than anything else. And I can stay with my kids and have flexible time, and that's a dream come true, and I'm with my music. Let me do maybe music education major. So I applied and I got in Columbia University Teachers College for my PhD and in education, and I thought that's perfect. I got a scholarship there, and they offered me fellowship, but I couldn't take it because at this time I got married and I was pregnant with my first child, and it was just impractical because my husband didn't make much money at all, so somebody has to support the future family. So I said, you know what, I will postpone. I started PhD. I was there for a year, and I said I cannot do it anymore. First of all, I was almost due. You know, I have to give birth to my daughter, and I had to think what we will do later because somebody has to earn money. At the same time as I went to Columbia, I took a computer programming course because that one, my father actually recommended it. He was very practical. And because I always wanted to learn programming, it was just interesting to me. So I said, I'll take the course and I'll see what happens. If I get enough students, if I continue with PhD, I will go with this. If not, I will take emergency job for a year, get some money, and I loved the course. I was very good at it. I don't want to get into technical details, but it was unbelievably interesting to me. And it helped my music, it helped my logic, memorization, structuring, it was unbelievable. So then I gave birth to my daughter and I started giving music lessons. I couldn't go back to Columbia because I have to take care of my child. I didn't want babysitters, I didn't want any help. I wanted to be with my child, first 3 years of her life. I just didn't trust anyone. I cannot do that, I couldn't. So when she grew up a little bit, we had to have money. So I got a computer programming job. So my mother said, it's a mistake, you should go back to Columbia, we'll never get back. So, oh, I'll get back, I'm still young. It never happened, I never continued.
Wow.
But my career picked up in programming. I thought they would fire me anytime because they would find out that I'm a musician, and I put it on my resume that I have Juilliard, but it worked to my advantage. They said, if you have masters in Juilliard, you would be probably very good in programming.
Right.
And I started advancing, and I was like lead developer, then keep promoting me. Then I switched to Merrill Lynch because I wanted more challenging work and more money, of course. And I got AVP, VP, project manager. I can talk for. I couldn't believe I could do this because I didn't like business. I don't like brokerage at all.
Right.
I had to learn the business because I was in charge of a lot of stuff. But I loved programming and I hated politics. But I kept doing it because I needed it for my family.
Right.
So I was 23 years in programming.
Wow.
And I got promoted, and people knew me well. I was like interface people. I was interfacing with different countries on always support and development, learning completely new technologies, different platforms. So I was in charge of all the interfaces for the department because I knew a lot of stuff. I knew a lot of technical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept practicing every day,
Okay.
every single day. And I wanted to be with my kids. Then I got a second child. So I would come home, I would spend time, but I was tired, couldn't move. Every day, I was playing 10, 20 minutes, maybe just technique. That's what, when I called Gorodnitsky and Nadia Reisenberg said that I had to get a job, they said, practice every day,
Right.
do technique. You never know, you have to do it. You can't just drop it.
Right.
Never lose hope to getting back to it. So I was doing it. It was the best therapy for everything what was going in office and all the politics and injustice and stress and everything. Mm-hmm. Then Merrill Lynch was merging Bank of America. Nobody knew it yet. They offered a huge package for a very good retirement package for an employee who stayed there. And they offered me and said, oh my God, I would be stupid not to take it.
Right.
It's just good money, and then I'll go back as a consultant. They always told me I should be independent consultant. Because
Right, sure.
I knew a lot of technical stuff. So I took the package and I never came back.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I went back to music, because it's a long story why. My mother was in coma for 6 months. I started again questioning life, what's important. I wanted to do more humanitarian work. I did yoga, Pilates, all holistic studies certifications. I started teaching yoga and Pilates. I wanted to do holistic studies in college. Mm. And it's too long to explain because and then I have to earn money while I was doing it.
Right.
So I started giving music lessons, private music lessons, and I started performing while I was doing it. And in my resume looked pretty good for music. I didn't put I was a programmer, and everybody thought I'm a great pianist. They started inviting me here or there. I had brilliant students. They went into college. Some of them got into Juilliard. They won a lot of competitions. They went like to Vienna, and they played in different countries, in China and Poland. So I said, oh my God, I'm becoming a musician. That's my mother's dream. Eventually, of course, I would never get so much money. But, I'll have enough to survive. My kids will have enough. I'm very frugal in everything. And I felt that I'm doing good because especially my relationship with my students and some older students, girls, they confided in me. We discussed life issues. I became like friends with a lot of parents. I'm still friends with parents of my students who left me a long time ago.
Great.
it was so good. And I came back to performing, and I was doing very well in concerts. Then one of my friends from Juilliard said, "Oh, my husband has a recording studio. Why don't you start recording whatever you can?" I said, "I can't record, I don't know what." I said, "Try it for fun."
Yeah.
I tried it. That was my first recording. And I did it, and I released it on my own through CD Baby. And somebody picked it up, and I got like very good reviews on this. I couldn't believe it. I said, "Oh my God!" So now, not only I'm playing everywhere, I have a recording. So then I started producing recording almost every year, sometimes 2-year gap, but then 2 in 1 year. They got beautiful reviews everywhere, and my career started picking up. So I had a temporary manager who took me. I didn't have to pay anything. He just loved. He saw my post on Facebook. He picked me up, and he said, "Don't mention that you were a programmer," because he was very old-fashioned. Because some people would think, "Oh, she's, that's not good."
Right.
So I was hiding it.
Yeah, right.
So I applied for being a Steinway artist. I became Steinway artist. So couple of years ago, I said, "You know what? I can't hide it anymore. I will tell about my programming career because it's part of my life. I'm getting older. There is nothing to hide. It's not shameful." So if somebody doesn't like it, they don't go to my concert. They don't buy my recording. I don't care.
Right.
So that I started opening up about it in my interviews first, and then written interviews. I have a couple of interviews in Fanfare where I started opening up.
Uh-huh.
And then more and more, like online interviews, like I'm doing with you. And now I'm completely in the open and feel so good because now I don't have to hide anything.
Right.
And a lot of people can learn. I'm sorry for talking so much because it's a huge part of my life. I think it helps a lot of people to see that hope is always there. Do what you like, no matter what. No matter how much time you have, even if it's a little bit, and it helps my students tremendously. Because when they say, "Oh, I have so many activities in school, I have exams, this, I can't practice." I said, "Do you have 10 minutes? Oh yeah, go play."
Right.
10 minutes a day, every day, a little bit. They progress beautifully because they start doing 10 minutes, then they do more, then they do homework, then they come back to piano. And then they look at me as an example, what happened to me, and it helps them a lot. So some of my students who went to different professions because of financial considerations and their parents' suggestion, they either double major in music or they have music minor, they have their own students. They keep performing, maybe for music clubs, maybe not in Carnegie Hall, but they keep performing. And it's extremely rewarding. So I think whatever I went through, it's not for nothing. It's like really helps people.
I think what you're
in our society as
right.
a whole.
Well,
So it reflects in the school.
I'll have you back when we can talk for more hours because we're just at about an hour, and I'm going to have to wrap it up here pretty soon.
Oh,
but
that was fast.
I think, well, I'm a really good interviewer. I'm so good at interviewing. So it always goes by very fast. But the work ethic part of it, I think your example is probably why you're being so successful with these students and still friends with the parents, because I experience a lot of the same things that you do. There's always people that will get the job done, and there's the people that will always make an excuse for why they didn't get the job done. Mm-hmm. And when you're a person that cares about, you care about the composers, you come from a history of great teachers, you're very dedicated, you're very good at it, but you have put in the work. And that's what everybody has to do if they want to accomplish any kind of success, not only in music, but in everything else. You have to realize you have to work at it. You have to care about it. You have to lead a balanced life. And 12 albums is a lot. That's pretty incredible that you've done 12, and then you raised a family and you became a big time programmer advising people at Merrill Lynch. That's kind of a cool side gig. And now, are
I
you
can't
gonna
believe it still.
are you going to like tour on this album, or just kind of stay around your area?
Oh no, I after COVID I started touring in different countries
Hmm.
because I, you know, in COVID we were so secluded. Said, you know what, something might happen again. I just want to do while I can. So
Okay.
this would be my fourth European, and I played before in different countries, but right now I'm trying to do it every year. So this year I'm going to Madrid. I have two
Wow.
concerts. In London, I have three concerts all in different places. And Vienna, I have a concert at Mozart House, which I
Nice.
played. Yeah, I played there before, but it was a while ago. So I'm very excited about it.
So
Uh,
you actually go to Mozart's actual house?
they have a Mozart museum, which is beautiful, and they they made a room in the basement, a concert hall
Wow.
in Mozart's house. Yeah, I attended concert. Yeah, I played there too. They have some music competitions there, so my students played there a while ago.
Okay.
But this time I'm giving my own concert,
Excellent.
which is great, and as a tribute to Vienna. And I played Carnival Schumann because Vienna is so festive. So I'll play Schumann Carnival, Chopin Fantasy, two transcendental etudes by Liszt,
Oh my God.
Appassionata and Ricordanza, and Debussy, some Debussy.
I don't even know how you can play more than one list piece in a row, man. I watch your hands when you're playing list, and I'm just going, oh my God. And then you play another one, and then you play like three more after that, man. You're incredible. That's crazy.
Well, we're working on video of Liszt, full Liszt sonata, and so I played it in all the venues. And amazing thing about Liszt, maybe it's my personal, it gives me strength, power, it calms me down, and I'm never tired after playing Liszt, physically
Wow.
or emotionally. I
Wow.
just go, I'm totally, I wouldn't say I'm reincarnated, I don't believe in this stuff, but his vibes and his music is so healing.
Uh-huh.
So I played not some other composers. Every composer, like Schumann, I love Schumann. Everybody, but we can have the whole conversation how this composer affect me physically. It's very like after Chopin, I
Wow.
start having a throat
Interesting.
ache, for example. I can't breathe, exactly like Chopin felt. It's unbelievable. But Liszt and Beethoven always give me strength and optimism and
Uh-huh.
power, no matter
Wow.
what,
That's
because
incredible.
it's their character.
Hmm.
They're like my personal friend. All composers like my person. Whatever I play, whomever, they're like my personal friends. Like I
Incredible.
know them intimately. So after it's funny thing because Liszt sonata considered to be not only physically but emotionally very hard, and it consists from so many different segments.
Right.
Music critics even sometimes can't comprehend it and
No,
they say
they
it's
can't even follow
disjointed.
it. Yeah.
I played it as a charity for some retirement people, every concert for kids. I played it for 6-year-old and 3-year-old kids. They read through the whole piece. They were mesmerized. They wanted more. They clapped like crazy. In the retirement houses, like people who were half asleep, they were like one guy stood up from the chair from this.
Uh,
He was disabled. It was unbelievable. So I think music is so powerful. It's like pure emotion that
it is.
transports into physical. You know, like emotion and energy becomes physical stuff, like a
Right.
vector
Yeah.
force. You know, it's a law. So that's what music does. If you do it correctly, if you know how to do, it's extremely powerful and healing. Everybody knows it, but I experienced healing power not on the calm and soft and sometimes boring, very nice music, but power of healing of raw emotions and desperation, and it heals you, it clears you of all
Right.
the dirt, it
Right.
clears, and people respond amazingly. like when I had to play before little kids and retirement homes, their grandkids came. I thought this sonata would never go. And this is after another hour of playing other pieces. At least sonata is the last, so they can leave if they don't want to. So I'm playing, they went nuts. So every retirement home, they loved it. So is the Schumann Carnival, which is a completely different piece that I'm playing now.
Right.
It's completely different, but it's long, 30 minutes, 29 minutes. But so it's all about,
Fantastic.
It's not about what, it's how and what it expresses and the core of it. So music is the best example of spirit and spirituality.
Yeah, it totally
If
is.
somebody doesn't believe in it, they just have to listen to Liszt's.
I know. I've had that conversation, that experience too, and I performed a lot in different situations, and I have certain sound combinations. I can walk in to a piano in a very loud bar or nightclub kind of a thing, and I could play 4 bars of something and it goes completely silent. And then they're with me. And that is the power of music, because
It overwhelms you.
and then you can feel the spiritual energy in the room and people notice it. And that's one of the greatest thrills about it. I mean, I love it because, everybody says, oh, you're so fantastic and all that. But when you can actually feel the music the way you do, and maybe we'll have to do a part 2 where we can talk especially more about Beethoven and Liszt, because Beethoven's my hero. He's the one that I relate to the most. And Liszt, I didn't enjoy hearing Liszt until I heard you play him, actually.
You know what?
No,
Some music critics wrote that.
Yeah,
for
I
me.
never liked it until I heard you play it, and we're sitting there in the restaurant, me and my friend on the phone, and you're playing it. He's going, oh my God, that's a lot of notes. And about 30 seconds in, I said, that's Franz Liszt. And I'm not even a fan of Liszt, but I said, I know that I recognize him because the composer's personality is in the books, and then you bring it to life so beautifully. So I'm sorry I got to leave it here and wrap things up, but what a pleasure it is to get a chance to chat with you. You're a light unto the world, and I'm proud to know you, and I hope you have a great success on your tour and with your new album.
Thank you so much for this wonderful interview. I didn't even expect it would turn so emotional. And went into some unpredictability, which was a sign of a very good interviewer. And I felt so much at ease, which is great. And I'm sorry I took so much time. I didn't intend to be so long, but you're a very good conversationalist. I can talk for hours.
I don't have
Thank you very much.
I don't have really a time limit, except today I have some students and some video editing and things that I need to do, but it's always refreshing to meet a person that I think is just such a good example, because rather than talking about all of these various things, like the example is you still play, you still made your family, you still made money, you still finished college, you still went on tour, you still had a side job, you're still playing the shows. That's what people that come to America are supposed to do, ladies and gentlemen. And, I hope that more people, anyone that watches this interview, I hope they will take your example as a personal pathway to success, because you've done it. You've made it happen.
Oh, thank you. The key is I didn't think of success. I didn't aim to be a success. I just did I listened to and what's right internally and what's good for other people.
Right.
Helping other people, it's not just empty words, because it makes me feel good. So in a way it's selfish, because helping making others feel good, working hard, it makes me feel good. So it's a win-win situation, and the only thing I want to say, we all have to hope for the better, no matter what happens. And a lot of things are happening in the world.
Right.
Never lose hope, like my teachers told me, like I tell my students, because life is beautiful. The more you believe in it, the more you can bring out good energy and help make it beautiful. Never, never lose hope, and keep doing what you do, what you know to do the best and you love.
Okay, folks. Well, we got to leave it here, but my guest today is just a wonderful person I've discovered. What a lovely chat we had. It's Sophia Agranovich, and she is a classical pianist. Just released her 12th album. It's on all major platforms. It's a lovely collection of Robert Schumann's work, and you can find out when I put all the links below in the YouTube and stuff, you can find out her website and how to get in touch with her. So that's going to wrap it up. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.